One of the great and amazing moments of Easter, at least liturgically in our churches, is after sort of the whole experience of Good Friday. And if you do a vigil, there is sort of this somber beginning. But at some point, either during a vigil or when you walk into church on Easter morning, there's this declaration, Alleluia, Christ is risen, he is risen indeed, Alleluia. There's this bursting forth of the Alleluia of Easter. And particularly given that we've sort of kind of fasted from Alleluia through Lent, there is this sudden boom of he is risen indeed that comes from us. And what's interesting as I think about that, that's certainly our liturgical experience, but I was reflecting this week as I read the texts, the Easter texts. The truth of the disciples and those who were the first witnesses of the resurrection was it wasn't like a boom. For them, it was more like this slow dawning realization in ever widening circles. The women who went to the tomb, it's not like when they got to the tomb and they saw the tomb being empty and the stone rolled away, they said, "Yeah, he's alive!" They didn't understand what was going on. They needed the witness of the men in shining robes at the tomb, or ultimately the witness of Jesus as they met Jesus on the way, as Mary Magdalene had that conversation with Jesus. It was not immediately. There was a sense of just a second. He is not dead. He's alive. There's this coming to this realization of what has actually happened here. And what I like about that as I read the texts of Easter is it's actually reflective of all of our experience of who Jesus is. None of us, although some of us do have these Damascus Road experiences where there's something changes suddenly for us. But ultimately, our entire Christian lives is sometimes the slow dawning. Our conversions often is the slow dawning of the realization, just a second, this is who Jesus is. I didn't understand before, and now I get it. And that was the experience of the disciples. Again, this slow dawning in ever widening circles that began with the women, and then with Peter and John, and then the disciples on the road to Emmaus, and then in the upper room, and then poor Thomas, who didn't come to the first event and was kind of in limbo for a week or so. And this slow dawning and realization, he is alive, and that changes everything. And so as we walk through the fullness of this Easter season, it is a great reminder that the fullness of who Jesus is something that often slowly dawns on us, and the implications of that get bigger and bigger and bigger. I hope that you, as you walk through not just this Easter day, but this whole Easter season, that the fullness, the hugeness of Jesus would just slowly dawn on you in ever widening circles. Have a very happy and blessed Eastertide.